Yeah, it's coming. It's running towards us.
Great, super. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you? People in the back, can you wave for me? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Inshallah. I was promised my session before the lunch, but now we have the graveyard session. So my request to you would be kindly stay with me. I hope I can make this useful for you. But please, jahan pe aapko boring lage, you can raise your hand and say, make it interesting or move on to the next one. It's perfectly okay. The objective is for us to have a good conversation, for you to get some benefit from this, and for me to get a lot of questions so that I can also learn and improve. Is that okay? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So it is an AI session, so of course we're going to try something on the phones. So can I request you to please take out your phones, use any image generator. If you don't know which one, you can go to WhatsApp and you can see there is search with Meta or create with Meta AI, and try this prompt. And then we're going to come back to it later. And if you want to try something different, you want to have your own twist, more than welcome. Just have fun, play around with it. Let me move on. So a little bit of introduction about myself. I am here primarily in 3 different capacities, you can say. There are 3 different strands of my life which have brought me to this point. One of them is that I'm classically trained marketeer. I spent about 20 years in marketing in companies like P&G, in Coca-Cola for good about 18 years, actually. I was head of marketing for Coca-Cola in Pakistan. I did regional roles, global roles. And that was kind of my main upbringing. But then, as the life takes turns, I got a role where I was leading Coca-Cola's global strategy and insights team. And one of the key parts of that was how can Coca-Cola or industry in general can deploy any emerging technology into their marketing processes. And I got exposed to a lot of new tech at that time, including NFTs, augmented reality, and AI. And this is all before OpenAI came in, and before we knew ChatGPT as we know it right now. So I got a chance to play around with a lot of these new technologies and see what they can do and what they cannot do. And that got me into predictive AI. And then the third part is that I have been always wanting to create a series which is an Islamic series. And that was my interest. I wanted to do something animation-based, which was very, very expensive. And I ended up using generative AI to create the first and so far the only 100% generative AI-based series which has been produced so far. So there are a few things which have kind of brought me together to this place. So some of the work, obviously, you have seen, Coke Studio. I've been blessed to be partners with great people. Amna Said from EBM right now, but originally the people who started Coke Studio, I've worked with her, Nadeem, and a lot of other people. The team from Kinetic, Essen was here, Said Saab and the whole group, Saad, who helped us create the Coke Fest. Lucky to be part of that team. And then obviously, as I mentioned to you, I was part of the global team. I ran Voice of the Humans as a global integrated platform for insights for Coca-Cola. But while I was doing all of this, I am always the kind of person who is flustered and very confused about the big questions in life. I wonder why I am here, where I'm going to go, what's the purpose of my life, and I'm always kind of overthinking these issues. And find answer to questions like this, I would often turn to our holy book, Quran. And multiple times I tried to read it. I was fortunate enough to read it a couple of times with the translations as well, but I always found it very, very difficult. And the people who have attempted this would have seen some verses saying, the Quran has been made very easy. And I wondered that, if it is made very easy, if Allah is saying this is made very easy, then why is it so difficult to understand? And I often wondered that, if I look back in the history of Quran and how it has gone through, there are people in different generations who have always tried to make it more and more contemporary. And that made me think that, so what can we do in this day and age in which people are not going to read and they're going to watch? So all the people who have come in the last 2 days, I think they can all agree, at least on this one, that the new generation is spending more time on their phones and watching videos than they are spending time on reading or even interacting physically with people. So how will they understand Quran? Will they read? And will they read the difficult tafsir in Arabic, Persian, and Urdu? Most likely not. They will need a new solution. So I thought to myself, what if we could create a version of Quran that we could watch? Almost like we watch a documentary. It has to be that exciting and engaging at least. So I thought to myself, why not create the first video version of entire Quran, end to end, no choices. Just like Quran has been revealed in all of its proper sense, it has not left out anything. So just like that, we should have an accompaniment of Quran end to end in a video format. I try to do this. I talked to many of my friends, especially people who are based in animation, and they started to give me quotes. You want to do this? It's a great project, but it's going to cost you somewhere between $10 to $15 million. I didn't have that money. I tried to raise money from Saudi, UAE, etc. I tried to talk to a few doctors in US. No one was willing to give that amount of money. But we stumbled upon generative AI from a video perspective, and things started to happen. By now, we have produced about 20% of Quran in a video format. Inshallah, we will launch this in January as a B2C format, and would love to have you test it out as well. But let me share with you one video. This is fresh off the oven. It's not even finalized 100% yet. What we call as an offline, you will see that. And I purposefully am going to show you a surah which is not very commonly known. It's the 100th chapter of Quran. Any guesses what's the name of the 100th chapter of Quran? There must be some Hafiz Saab around, no? No. So the 100th chapter is called Al-Adiyat. It's obviously in the last juz. So let's watch a video, and you will see that, how these videos will help you understand the meaning which is behind every tafsir.
Have you seen how a battle horse charges into battle? As fast as lightning, determined like an arrow, without slowing at all. It doesn't care about getting hurt, it just follows its master. There isn't a chance of doubt in the horse's heart. It obeys without questions, a fine example of loyalty. In Surah Al-Adiyat, Allah draws a beautiful comparison between battle horses and us humans. Some of us keep getting busy with worldly things and forgetting our Creator's commands. A horse obeys a master just because he feeds and shelters him, while we forget that Allah created us and everything we have, we owe it to Him, the one and only. Despite plenty of blessings, we complain.
إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد.
The ending of the surah reminds us to be cautious, because on the day of judgment, everything we have done will be accounted for. All secrets will be revealed. We should always strive to do good and follow our Lord's commands with loyalty, just like a battle horse, without a moment of hesitation or a hint of doubt. Our efforts to follow the command should take all of us, just like a battle horse's, for it keeps running even if it's getting out of breath.
So what you see from here is the technology is available. All of this video that you have seen was done 100% through AI. There is, obviously the script is done by our scholars and the creative writers, but the video, music, voiceover, all of that is generated AI. And with all of, now we are able to do the entire project. Actually, I am able to do this project just from my own money, without even raising a finance. So the net outcome of this is basically technology should enable things which were impossible before. And that's really technology does. It enables things which were impossible before. So this one project is possible only now because of a new technology, which is AI. So the same question is going to apply as we go forward to say, now what are the things with AI that we can do as marketeers which we could not do before? So far, so good? Great, thank you. Sorry, let me go back. So AI is actually not a new term. AI has been around since World War II. Has anybody seen this movie, Imitation Game? Right? So Alan Turing is the father of AI, and this is back in World War II. And people want to find a movie that they want to watch over the weekend. If you haven't watched this, it's a great movie. Will highly recommend if you can watch Imitation Game. And this will give you the starting of AI in a way. Also, another term that we would have heard, large language model, or LLM. Have you heard this term, LLM, large language model? This is a form of AI. And this is also not very new. So we have all used autocorrect, right, on our phones. We have all ducked our lives many times because of this. So this has been there since about 2006 onwards almost. So large language model in its primitive form has been there since then. But what has really changed is that AI technology has evolved and gone to a next level. And that's where the picture that you guys created through your phones now comes in. So you see, there is a picture of a cat. So AI has, or computers have been trained. You can search, let's say, on Google, and you can search picture of a cat, you'll find this. If you search picture of a human dressed as a cat, you'll also find this because computers have been trained to find that, this is a human, he's or she is dressed as a cat. But computers have never seen a cat dressed in a space suit holding a can of Coca-Cola. And why are computers able to create something like this? Sorry. And this is what's new. It's called generative AI. So now, the whole game that is changing, and that's why technology is becoming so much more interesting, is because computers or AI is able to do something that it itself also did not know before. And that's where it starts to get very interesting, also very scary. And that's the reason why perhaps it starts to become interesting for marketeers and the reason for us to be here. So let me ask a question to the group here. How many of us think that all the hype of AI is justified? If you think so, let's raise the hand. How many people say maybe about 20%, okay, 25%? How many people say, let's wait and see what comes out? Maybe about 25%, maybe 10, 20%. And how many people think it's a pure crap, nothing's going to come out of it? Not many hands. Very interesting. Generally, we get a few more hands. I think there's only one person over there. But generally, like half and half people are like, it's like NFTs is going to come, and it's going to go. It's not very interesting. But anyways, that's a very interesting group. Most of the people will say, this is the coming wave. So here is one slide. I tried to capture that, guys, if you forget anything, if you think the session is extremely boring, kindly pay attention only on this slide. And I hope that you remember the message on this slide. So let me go like word by word so that we can at least, try to kind of get this point across. So AI is the coming wave, and there is no way to stop it. I think so much investment has gone behind it. Billions and billions of dollars have been poured into it. All the big guys, governments are behind it. It's going to go. So the second thing is, I think AI will help marketers achieve their dream of hyper-personalization. And we'll talk more about hyper-personalization in a lot more detail. And I think this is one thing which will be enabled now to a level it has never been even imagined before. And that's really, really the key benefit of AI. And then the last point is, there is a use case where I can start to use AI even today. So we'll go through many cases of things which have already happened, and the technology is already there. So, and there will be something in there that is a pain point for you also. So if you want, you can start with AI from somewhere. You don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel. There's something that you can start off with. If anyone wants to take a picture of one slide, this is a slide. But it's going to keep coming back also. So let's talk about the first one. Does anybody know who this guy is? Who's he? Yuval Harari, great. Do you know any one of his books? Which one? Sapiens, wonderful. Nexus, great. So this is the intro for Nexus. Let's see what he's saying. Sorry, going back. Can you play it from back?
Hi, my name is Yuval Noah Harari. You may know some of my books, which include Sapiens and Homo Deus. I want to tell you a bit about my new book, Nexus, a brief history of information networks from the Stone Age to AI. At the heart of this new book lies one key question. We have named our species Homo sapiens, the wise human. But if humans are so wise, why are we doing so many self-destructive things? Why are we on the verge of committing ecological and technological suicide? As an essential background for understanding the threat and the promises of AI, my new book Nexus explores the long-term history of information networks. AI is the first technology in history that can make decisions by itself, that can create new ideas by itself, and that can take power away from humans. Silicon chips can create spies that never sleep, financiers that never forget, and despots that never die.
So, among many people in the world who are backing AI as the next big thing in a positive way, Yuval Harari is perhaps one of the leading voices, or perhaps the leading voice, who hates AI. He thinks we are stupid because we have created something which will come and kill us. But there is something which he even acknowledges, that AI is coming and it's going to be a major force in the next 10 years. So I think if we pay attention to it, we are just justified in paying attention to it. And I honestly believe we really need to put attention into it, because no matter what, it's going to come and change the way people go to work, people live, and obviously do marketing. So this takes us to a second point, that how will it change marketing and what are the opportunities that will open up? This is going to be about hyper-personalization. So guys, marketers really, I think, need to pull up their socks. And Amar, I think, went into a lot of detail about bad habits of marketeers. You focus a lot on Pakistan. Unfortunately, the global situation is also not very good. So globally, in 2025, the global marketing spend will be $1 trillion across all the marketeers. $1 trillion. If marketing was a country and its GDP was $1 trillion, it will be the 22nd richest country in the world. So that's how big it is. But we are extremely wasteful as marketeers. Our success rate on innovation, introducing new products, is only 3 to 5%. If we make a new campaign, there are different numbers, but they vary between 10 to 20% of success rate. Very, very low success rates. In the best case scenario, it means $800 billion a year are wasted or under-optimized. If it was properly audited, most probably, people will be fired almost every day. It doesn't bear a very good sign, and hence some of your points from this morning, I think, are globally applicable. Not many CMOs also translate themselves into CEOs as well. And I think that's the theme that we have been seeing. So we really need to pull up our socks. And if you look at the last about 20 years, I think what has happened is that we have been, in a way, stuck in the analog age, in which there was one strategy leading to one mega execution, and then there are different versions of that, right? So still we are obsessed with a 30-second TVC, and we sometimes are talking about a 45-second TVC and a 30-second TVC. As a highly intellectual brain, maybe we're spending about $5 to $10 million behind that campaign, and this is the level of conversation that we still engage in. On the other hand, what has happened is, because of the digital age, consumers have a lot more choice. So over the last 20 years, and Javed, you know it better than anybody else, the biggest fundamental change that has happened in marketing is the biggest media channels have changed drastically. 20 years ago, the biggest media channel was not even born, which is Google now. All the TV put together in the world is at number 2 right now. And number 3 was also not born 20 years ago, which is Meta platforms. Now, with this, we're going to move into the next stage, which is the age of AI. So we need to ask ourselves how the world will change. The age of AI will be defined by hyper-personalization. Let's see, there are going to be 3 parts to it. Media, even today, and all the media folks here can vouch for it, both Google, the #1 media platform in the world, Meta, the #3 media platform in the world, Amazon and TikTok, I don't know the numbers back of my mind, but most probably true, allow you to target a minimum audience of 1,000 people. They allow you to geofence and target 1 kilometer radius. So when Essen talks about geo-targeted outdoor, it's right on point. But still, we're talking about 130-second TVC within national planning. Content, already we have a lot of content. We're talking about micro-influencers, nano-influencers, content created at that level. But AI is going to hyper-create all of that content or enable that content for other people to produce at a scale that we have never seen before. Commerce has already moved into social commerce. TikTok Shop is a big example. We were just talking about social commerce in China, which is far beyond where even Amazon is right now. And the next step on this one is you don't even need to place an order. Based on your history, the things will just come to your home, which is auto-ordering. And these are the things which are already in the moves. It's not even requiring a new technology to come up. All of this means we're going to live in a world of hyper-personalization, and we're going to really like it. We're going to demand it and want more and more of it. We as consumers, and therefore as marketeers, it will be more of our journey to make it happen. And the AI that we have right now, with all of its glitches, is just going to get better and better. This is the worst form of AI that we're ever going to see. This is the map, which is based on a talk by Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the poster boy of AI. He's the CEO of OpenAI. He just gave a talk lining the roadmap to artificial general intelligence, which means AI will be running on its own without any human interference. We are at step 2 of that right now with the release of ChatGPT 0.1 preview. This happened like 2 weeks ago. Now AI can reason. And other forms are going to come later on. While all of this technology is being developed and things are happening, I want us to be beware of a couple of things. Just like last time in the digital age, we relied a lot on technology partners. We asked Google and Meta, what can we do for you? And they obviously served their own purpose. Now we have another creative tech coming in as well. People have Runway, Midjourney, etc. They have their own purposes. They have their own agendas. Or we can follow them and make them rich, which we are going to do, of course. But at the same time, it begs the question, I think every big and small organization needs to ask, what is going to be our AI strategy? And we need to define what the rules of the games will be. Otherwise, we'll play by somebody else's rules. And that's where the third point comes in. We need to talk about what are the use cases that we want. And hence, what I propose is that we need to look at our own needs as marketeers and ask the ecosystem to come and serve us, because we are going to give them money for advertising to them. They are not going to pay us. So they need to play by our rules, and our needs should be fulfilled. Now, who thinks, if you can raise your hand for this, who thinks AI can help in data analytics? Thank you, Amna, for being the leader in this. Who thinks AI can help in brand strategy? Quite a few people. And who thinks AI can help us make better ads that we're doing right now? Quite a few people. So why are we not using AI in all of these? Right? I mean, the question is already answered, no? But let's see a few examples. So I'm going to go one by one and share examples of things which, again, have already been done. And the technology was there actually probably a year ago to make this happen. You often get a question, and this is an interesting question. Sometimes you don't have the data. You don't have the data, but you can use another data as a proxy. Can this happen? So something interesting, I'll give you an example. So when I was reading Coca-Cola's global strategy and insights, obviously Coca-Cola is always looking at this main competition and making ads and testing either its own base or versus the main competition. And that's the universe that we operated in. And then somebody came around and said, hey, you know what? What's the global standing of Coca-Cola as a brand among all the top 100 brands? And lo and behold, Coca-Cola was at number 12, no longer at number 1 for a very long time. In USA as the lead market, there were two studies. One placed Coca-Cola as number 33, and other one placed Coca-Cola as number 56. Really bad numbers. So we said, why not compare ourselves to the top 100 brands? Now, who has the money and the time and analytical ability to look at top 100 brands, all of the ads, build the database, and measure ourselves against this? No human could do it on their own. But that's where AI come in and help. So we actually scraped all the data of the top 100 brands of their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc., all of their advertising. We looked at the social media cloud and the listening for the comments or the likes, and we made a model based on the cultural nuances, data from this, using obviously OpenAI as the base. And what we were able to do with this one was that at that time, Super Bowl came around. Super Bowl, as you obviously know, is the biggest show in terms of advertising placement. Still, there are 42 ads aired on every Super Bowl. Every ad costs about $7 million to air for a 30-second TVC. But there is no quantitative understanding of which ad is actually better. And for the very first time, we were able to do all the rankings in the best possible way. Something that would have taken about $800,000 to deliver, we were able to do it at no incremental cost in 2 days of a time. And this is the ranking. Very interesting. And the people who are in the creative and the production side, this will be interesting for you. If a brand comes in and says, I want to make a Super Bowl ad, the very first thing agency will ask is, oh, so who's the celebrity that we will hire? But this time around, the best scoring ad actually has no celebrity in it. And just imagine the entire conversation changes if you have this data with you. So this is the ad. Guys, can you please see if you can play it on your side?
I'll always take care of you. Hey, little bear bear. You gonna be a good boy?
Don't worry, darling, about the rest of our life.
From this day forward.
Through thick and thin,
Come on, bear.
I'll be there by your side.
Oh. I'm gonna love you forever. Hey, bear.
I'll be there. You don't have to worry.
Guys, Farmer's Dog is an insurance brand. I think it's like number 7 in the category in terms of market share. No celebrity, no super funny, no reference of football, the American football, the best scoring ad. Okay, the second part, can AI help me in data analytics? If you have multiple sources of data and big organization, sales, share, in-store execution, brand health tracker, so many different streams of data come in, and they're all analyzed in different Excel sheets. They hardly talk to each other. So what we're doing right now is, for a major brand in US, we have created this analytical platform where we've taken, this is a T-shaped analysis where there's some data which is available for everybody like demographics, psychographics, census, and location data down to a zip code level. And then we've taken the brand category and the brand health data, which is by brand, so you can do it for any brand that you require. We combine all of them and did a segmentation study. So there are 17 different segments that have come out for this brand to talk to. Now, interestingly, because AI can help you go down to a level which we humans could actually not get down to in a meaningful way, one of the dimensions is that you can go down to even a zip code level. So now, again, we talked about Essence presentation, and yesterday we're talking about Asif's presentation from Jazz. Now this brand can say, hey, you know what, if I'm going to talk to innovators, which is California-based, that, but hey, these are the 5 zip codes in California which actually really matter. So just imagine that rather than talking to 200 million people who might be in the target audience for this, you can actually meaningfully start to talk to only 20 million people. How much of a higher ROI? And sir, this is where I think ROI becomes effective and hence more efficient if you're coming from these insights. Let's shift the gear. If you're talking about concept optimization, so some of these numbers people don't really like, but this is truth also, we need to kind of see it. When ChatGPT 4 came in, this is about 6-7 months ago, at that time when they ran the analysis, ChatGPT 4 was better at creating subjective communication versus humans on average. If you look at the ChatGPT 4's highest number and also human highest number, they're also not very far off from each other. So even the best outcome of ChatGPT 4 with right prompting is almost equal to what you'll have with the best creative person out there. But now the ChatGPT 4.01 review, which has just come, which is the second level of AI, is from a reasoning perspective, it's better than a PhD holder. So just using a $20 subscription, you are going to have a tool which is better at subjective writing and far better at reasoning than any one of us who are present in this room. So why not use this for creative concept writing? So this is what we deployed for one of the brands that we were working on for an innovation. So the team gave 10 ideas. Now working with the team and working with AI, we took it to 300 ideas. And never before we took 300 ideas to testing. But now you can develop AI testing tools, and there are quite a few out there in market with which you can actually test 300 ideas. We came down to ultimately an innovation pipeline which was 3 times more effective than the previous innovation pipeline. So now this brand has, firstly, next 3 years of confirmed innovation pipeline that they want to follow, which is also 3 times more effective in terms of generating purchase intent. I think a very favorite point, creative excellence, the quality of advertising that we are able to develop. I think the fundamental fact here is that right now, the way we develop ads, from creating the brief to going to the agency, back and forth, then we launch, then we track the campaign. How good is the tracking? That's also a question. How much do we actually learn from that is also a question. Even if the entire process goes around, by the time you actually learn, 1 year has gone by. When you do it with an AI-led process, this process actually comes down to 1 month. So what it allows you to do is basically what Sam Altman says in his rules of success, and it's a great talk on YouTube. Sam Altman's rules of success, if you get a chance, kindly go through it. He says the main thing is how many times can you develop a product, test it, improve it, and go back to your consumers. So once you have actually 1 month of cycle time of development, you can keep on testing, keep on improving, and that's how your creative quality improves. So we gave ourselves a challenge. We said, in 30 days, can we produce 15 campaigns and test them versus the base version of what this brand is already running? So this was our internal teams working just to test our own capabilities. So this is not for the clients, but this is just for our own testing. But let us show you the results that have come through. And they're all scoring the top half of the percentile, top 25% of the percentile. So this is an ad which we did for IKEA. This is all not, again, for the brand IKEA. This is just done for illustrative purposes. But we tested this versus what IKEA is running right now. So let us have a look at this.
Some like to be neat and tidy. Others may not. Some need practicality, and some simply don't. Some look for beauty. Others want durability. Some like maneuverability, and some like things fixed. No matter who you are, IKEA has something just for you.
Right? So this, firstly, it's all AI generated, visuals, video, voice, end-to-end, everything's AI generated. When you test it versus the control, what IKEA was running, this was scoring at par or even higher. But this is developed in like 3 weeks' time at really less than $1,000 of a cost. And this was developed like in 4 months ago, so now with all the technology improving, it can come out to be much nicer. Similarly, another one is done for Tide. Let me play this also.
Being a robot is tough work, especially when they make you wear these silly human...
Let's play again.
Being a robot is tough work, especially when they make you wear these silly human clothes. I mean, it's so hard keeping them clean. Just ask Joe, and Bob, and John, and Crystal, and Steve. Actually, don't ask Steve. He has anger issues. His firmware needs updating. And they want us to come in clean shirts every day. Do you know how hard some stains are? Thank God we have Tide. It can take out pretty much any stain and fast. If it weren't for Tide, there would be an all-out revolt. Bob has been planning one. Tide for every situation.
Great. So this is done for animation purposes. We did not use human characters because they were coming out to be slightly jerky. But now with the new technology coming in, this can really improve and go to the next level. Another question they generally ask is, what about static visuals, especially for shopper toolkits? I mean, this is the work that we're doing right now for Coke, of course, that you can see. All the visuals I'm going to show you now are 100% AI generated. And I can tell you I've done this work, obviously, for 18 years of my life. Generally, we get shots like this. We'll be extremely happy after photography. And that photography would have taken us about 3 months, good about $100,000, $200,000, and so much of intellectual back and forth. So this one, and then again, we test it through AI. This testing takes 30 seconds to do per visual. It gives you eye tracking, heat maps. You can do any type of casting that you like. You can't really tell, this person is AI generated or real. Again, all the testing is done. Imagine you get every visual backed up with the research. What else could you ask for? This one is my personal favorite. Just makes you want to have a Coke. If you want a different kind of a casting, say, if you're talking about Levant as a region, this looks great. You want to cast for, let's say, Southeast Asia or Latin America, looks great. Something needs to be touched up here or there, but generally it looks fine. If you're looking at retail media and you want kind of little 5-seconders, 8-seconders, this is an example for that. You can obviously place copy as you like, do promotions around it. You want to introduce a new pack. You want to do food shots. Food shots, I think Dolly knows it better than anybody else, how much of effort it requires just to get the right photography, right lighting. Chicken is obviously not chicken that you shoot, and stuff like this, right? So, all of that is kind of taken care of. And if you don't like it, no problem, man. Next prompt, and you'll get it right. And then, we want to move to the next level, which is also, we have worked with another Chinese e-commerce brand where we created personal shoppers. So this one, for example, is a personal shopper who will recommend, based on your shopping habits, what kind of clothing you should buy this season.
Hi, I am Katie. I am your AI personal shopper, crafted specifically to assist you and refine your style.
And then she goes around talking about you should buy this or that based on different styling, etc. And lastly, we've talked about a lot of marketing stuff, right? But what about our partners in the sales team? And this is a local case study which was done pre-ChatGPT and everything. And I find it extremely fascinating because it identifies a problem and solves it. So let's see this locally done and locally born study.
मेरा नाम नौरशेर खान है। मैं मर्दान का रिहायशी हूँ। मैं पिछले 5 साल से ग्रोसरी स्टोर में काम कर रहा हूँ। एक दिन एडेक्सियोम की टीम मेरे पास आई और मेरे लिए एक तोहफा लाई। उन्होंने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से चलने वाली छोटू एप्लीकेशन मेरे फ़ोन में इंस्टॉल की। अब मुझे रोज़ मैसेज आ जाता है और मैं रोज़ कूलर को साफ़ करता हूँ और कंपनी के दिए गए प्लानोग्राम के मुताबिक मैं इसे मर्चेंडाइज करता हूँ और एप्लीकेशन में तस्वीर भेज देता हूँ। छोटू एप्लीकेशन मुझे फ़ौरन 100 रुपये दे देती है। छोटू एप्लीकेशन का शुक्रिया।
Right, simple, effective, there's a problem, they solve it. So guys, at the end of the day, AI is the wave which is coming. We can't escape it. Let's learn how to do this. Hyper-personalization is the name of the game. We can start now. There are enough use cases. I think people raise their hands of saying they can use AI for data analytics, brand strategy. They can use it for creative excellence, creative at scale. So there's so many different use cases which are out there. And the technology is available right now. Any day you're going to get better time, better cost using AI, and have more flexibility. And I can tell you, less hassle. You'll have to deal with less people. Training and development is a gap. Many people ask, how can we do this? We have a course that we've done, obviously, with PASS before. So that course is available. Samsung team did this with us. So these courses are available. We are also doing this for multiple international clients also. I would highly recommend do generative AI 101 for marketing, establish your teams, get them started on a great note. The second thing is just follow some good accounts on social media and stuff. Please take a picture. This is curated by me. I follow these people. I have learned so much from these folks. And you'll find more people as well. Kindly, share those with me also. I would love to learn. Kindly take a snapshot of this, add me on LinkedIn, stay connected. Let me pause 30 seconds for here. Kindly take out your phones. But people like Anwar, you should already have me on your. Okay. And then finally, again, keep your phones out. And if you can give feedback, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you so much. And while you do this, thank you. Thank you so much.